Sometimes in life, you have to break away from family. Sometimes you're going to have to break away from friends. Sometimes in your life, you're going to have to stand on your own 2 feet if you want to bring about peace, if you want a peace of mind, if you want to go from one level to the next level. You're going to have to cut some people off. You're going to have to cut some people loose. And when you do that, you have to be able to deal with yourself. You're going to have to be able to cope with being alone, with being a loner. Because if you were to study a lot of the talented and great people in our history, right, regarding American history, you will find a lot of times people found their greatness in their solitude when they broke away from people and they learned to do the inner work. They learned to go in. Everything that we need, as in peace, peace of mind, I believe comes from within. It doesn't come from the exterior. It comes from the interior. And once you acknowledge breaking away from people, especially when they don't serve you, and when I say serve, I'm talking about bring people a part of bringing peace into your life, not chaos, not confusion, not hate. It's very important that you're not around someone who loves to fight, whether it be physically, psychologically, or mentally. A person who loves to argue just for the sake of arguing. That's an energy drainer. That's a vampire. Those are people who relish in your downfall, who relish in you falling and getting back up, falling and getting back up. There's no future in that. And I really believe that there's a lot of us who have a bunch of friends or who have family members who we really have no business allowing them to be in our circle, let alone in our tight-knit circle. I've learned when I keep certain family members away, whether it's a father or whether it's a mother, whether it's an aunt or an uncle, I've learned that, number one, I come first. My peace of mind is everything. And it's my job to make sure that I stay true to me, not to them, to me first. And if they're bringing confusion and bullshit my way, I have a right to keep them at bay, to make sure they don't come into my tight-knit circle, and for me to make sure I don't come into their circle. And by doing that, I've grown a lot. Actually, you can't help but grow. You can't help but look in the mirror and realize not only do you have potential to hit your goals, to hit your dreams, not only do you have a direction in your life, but you're not going to be able to obtain any of your goals and any of your dreams if you have heavy luggage, heavy baggage that you're toting around on your shoulders or dragging it. It's dead weight. It's dead weight, and dead weight slows you down. Depending on how heavy it is, it will stop you from succeeding. It will stop you from hitting your goals. It'll stop you from reaching the next level in your life, the next chapter in your life. So this is why I cut off people who don't, who's not on my wavelength, who don't vibrate on my level or higher. And I don't know, maybe it's because I'm in my 40s. Something happens to a man, I've heard, when we hit 40 and above. Something happens to a woman, I believe, when they hit their 40s. We're just not going for the dumb shit anymore. We're not playing around with the fuckery anymore. We not for the bullshit. And hopefully this resonates with someone out there, because if you expect to grow and you expect to move to the next level, you're going to have to leave some people behind. You're going to have to grow. You're going to have to glow up, and you're going to have to grow up. I'm in my 40s and I'm still growing up. I will never stop growing. I will never stop evolving. Like the saying goes, once you stop growing, once you stop evolving, you might as well be deleted. You might as well not even exist, because life is about change. And also, the first law of nature is self-preservation. It's like me, I'm a family man, but technically I come first. And I know that goes against what society has taught us. I know that goes against it, right? Because they teach you to think about others. And no. You come first. Because if you ain't right, if I'm not right, I can't be a good husband. I can't be a good father. I can't be a good anything if I ain't right. If I'm not centered. If I'm not in a mood to cope and deal with problems, the problems will deal with me. So this is why it's important also, as you're growing, as you're evolving, to learn how to sit in silence, even if it's for like 15, 20 minutes, and just gather your thoughts, breathe, relax, calm down. Because we live in a society today where everything is at our fingertips, right? We can look at the latest TV show, binge watch that. We can look at the latest movies. We got hundreds and hundreds of, I like to say channels, but we have YouTube, right? Which technically has hundreds and hundreds of channels, right? YouTube channels. Netflix and Hulu, so on and so forth, where our attention can easily be taken away from who? From you. From finding out who you are. And there's never enough time in this world where you can go deep and find out, who am I? Who am I? What pisses me off? What is it that can steal my attention away from learning me? And why am I allowing someone to take me off center? And how did I get to this point where they're taking me off center, where my equilibrium is off kilter, where I'm not balanced, where I'm unbalanced? And sometimes that happens when we don't address the elephant in the room, the obvious. It's very important for us to look in the mirror, literally and figuratively. How can I better my life? How can I make things easier? And again, like I've said in my past videos, you have to learn to believe people the first time they tell you who they are. And don't try to make excuses for them. And you need to ask yourself, depending on the situation, am I down with this? Do I want this in my life? Because small problems turn into big problems and bigger problems. Next thing you know, it's a mega problem. And it's something that eventually you wouldn't be able to take down, destroy, and control. I like to turn problems and make them work for me. I like to think like an alchemist. This is Mike Chevalier, keeping it simple and precise.